lesson with Miss Meadows. I am so excited to be reading a new story with you today. We are going to be reading a brand new story all about plants today, but first things first, as always, we need to start with our vocabulary. Make sure you are reading out loud, repeating after me. It is the best way for you to learn. So I will say the word first, and then you repeat after me. Our first word today is indigo. Say indigo. Very nice. So indigo is an adjective or a describing word. It's actually a color word. Indigo is a color that looks like blue and purple mixed together. So this indigo thread is a beautiful color to help make shirts. A lot of the jeans that we wear are often also indigo colored, just like you see in this picture here. So indigo is a color word that looks like blue and purple mixed together. It's not quite blue, it's not quite purple, it's if you mix them together. Our next word is wonder. Say wonder. Very good. Now, wonder is a noun or a person, place, or thing word. A wonder is something that is really great or a big surprise. So if we were to see a rainbow in the sky, that would be a wonder to see because it is something beautiful, amazing that we didn't expect. So we could also see other things in nature that are a wonder. So for example, it could be a wonder that beautiful plants are still able to grow in a dry desert, in a dry and hot desert. It's a wonder that beautiful plants can still grow there because we know how plants need water. Our next word is syrup. Say syrup. Very good. Now, syrup is a noun or a person, place, or thing word. Syrup is something sweet and sticky that you can pour. So the brown sticky syrup covers these pancakes in this picture. So it's a sweet and sticky, it's like it's not a liquid, a sweet and sticky substance that we put on pancakes. Sometimes people put it on sausage and it makes them super tasty. I usually pour syrup on my pancakes before I eat them. Do you like syrup on your pancakes? Give me a little hand raise if you do. It's so delicious that way. Our next word is juicy. Say juicy. Very good. Now this picture looks a little silly to me. Juicy is an adjective or a describing word. If something is juicy, it is very wet when you eat it. So Dan's face is very wet from eating that juicy watermelon because juicy means it's very wet, and a watermelon is usually a wet fruit, which means it's a juicy fruit. And our last word is ripe. Say ripe. Very good. Ripe is an adjective or a describing word. If something is ripe, it is finished growing and is ready to eat. So for example, when tomatoes turn red, they are ripe and ready to eat. When they are first starting to grow, they are this green color, and then they turn from this green color to a lighter red and eventually turn a full red. And at that point, that means that they are ready to eat. They are ripe. We wouldn't eat an unripe tomato that is green. We would eat a red one that is perfectly ripe. And that is it for our vocabulary today. Go ahead, kiss your brain. And we are going to move on to our anchor chart. So we're going to scoot on over to that. Our anchor chart today is on ask and answer questions. Can you say that? Ask and answer questions. Very good. And we have 3 different questions we're going to be thinking about today. So first question we want to ask is when? Say when. So we would ask the question when before reading, during reading, and after reading. So before reading, we might think, I'm wondering when does this story take place? Is it in the present time? Is it in the future? Is it in the past? Did it already happen? While we're reading and before we read and after we read, we want to be thinking about when. The next question is why. Say why. We ask the question why to help us get information about the story, to help us understand the story, and to practice being awake and thinking while we read the story. So Miss Meadows always tells us that we need to pay attention to the story. We do that so that if someone were to ask us the question why, or if you were to ask the question why is that character doing that? Or why is that house there? Or why aren't they friends right now? We know the answer because we've asked the question why. And then to be curious and wonder, there's one of our vocabulary words, to be curious and to wonder or think about different things as we read. So to maybe make a guess or to make a prediction. That's why we ask why. And the last one is how. Say how. So we're going to use words to ask that how, like who, what, where, why, when, and how. So go back, read those with me. Who, what, where, why, when, or how. We're going to look around in the text and pictures for evidence or details that will help us answer. So, asking and answering questions like this as you read is really going to benefit you for your gem choices at the end. If you're asking questions like why or how or when, by the time you get to the end and it's time to do your diamond checklist, you are going to be so prepared for it because you'll have paid attention and been awake while reading. So let's scoot right over to our story today, which is called Yum Que Rico. This genre study this is a poem. Poetry uses images, sounds, and rhythm to express ideas and feelings. We're going to look for describing words, alliteration or a pattern of words with the same first sound, and the rhythm created by 3 lines with 575 syllables. So alliteration means words that go together that have the same first sound, like pretty princess would be alliteration. And the rhythm created by 3 lines with 575 syllables means 1 line that has 5 syllables, 1 line that has 7 syllables, and 1 line that has 5 syllables. So we're going to be looking for those as we read. Our purpose for reading is to ask questions before, during, and after we read to help us understand the text. We're going to find evidence in the text and pictures to answer our questions as we read. And then a reminder about our power words, which are indigo, wonder, syrup, juicy, and ripe. Our author today is Pat Mora, the person who writes the words. We're going to listen to a little bit of what she has to say.
Pat Mora writes books and poetry for readers of all ages. She writes about the things she loves, her family, the desert, and Mexican culture, to name a few. Ms. Mora speaks both English and Spanish, and many of her books have words in both languages. In 1996, Ms. Mora started Children's Day, Book Day, which is a day that celebrates children and books. She has won many awards for her children's books, including her book of haiku poetry, Yum, Que Rico, America's Sproutings.
All right, so that leads us perfectly into our story today, which again is called Yum, Que Rico, America's Sproutings. This is a haiku by Pat Mora and is illustrated by Rafael Lopez. I'm going to move myself. Alrighty. The heading on this one, or the title, is Blueberry. Follow along with me as I read. Fill your mouth with blue. Share a bowl heaped with summer. Chew indigo. So that is our blue one, and we see this picture here of this friend who is giving this bird some blueberries to share. This next page says corn, and it says here, leaves sprout silk snug house, smell grits, tortillas, cornbread. Pass the butter, please. And then here we see them turning what we first talked about, corn, into different types of foods that they eat. So grits and tortillas and cornbread that they are eating together. Shows how we can turn these plants into helpful things. So corn can turn into so many other dishes, and blueberries aren't just food for us, they can also be food for animals too. This title says pecan. We crack hard brown shells, family munching, story time, crunchy taste of fall. So this picture here shows A family gathered around together, enjoying some pecans together and talking and sharing memories over eating these pecans, which is such a special thing to do. This page says prickly pear, red desert wonder, cactus fruit becomes syrup, and dulces. Surprise! So then we see this animal here. It looks like he's eating those prickly pears right off of the cactus. How silly is that? Once again, these plants are not just for humans, they are also for animals. And this page right here says tomato. Round, roly-poly, squirts seedy, juicy splatter. Red bursts in your mouth. And here he is eating this tomato, that juicy tomato. You can tell it's juicy because it's wet all over his mouth. So as we are reading this, we remember we talked earlier about that 5-7-5 pattern. So let's check and see if it works here. We have round, roly-poly. So 5, because remember, syllables aren't words. They're how many times our mouth opens while we read. So if I clapped it, it would go round, roly-poly. 5. Here, count with me. We've got squirts, C-D, juicy, splatter. 7. So it would be squirts, C-D, juicy, splatter. And then here on this last line, we would need another 5 to complete our pattern. We have red bursts in your mouth. So 5, red bursts in your mouth. 5, which makes our haiku. So what a fun and special story that we were able to read in the form of some haikus today. So we want to ask and answer questions. So what questions did you ask yourself about the different foods before, during, and after reading? Were there foods you didn't know about before? Were there foods you have eaten before, or that maybe foods you've never eaten or you don't think would be yummy? And how did those questions you asked help you understand the poem? So if you had eaten those foods before, was it easier for you? Like if you had had a blueberry before, it was easier for you to understand. But if you've never had a prickly pear before, you might not understand it as well. And that's okay. Those are questions that we ask and answer while we're reading. And then which words help you imagine what the foods are like? So describe the foods. So a sapphire choice could be to describe the foods that were in this story, to draw a picture of the foods and use describing words to describe them. So maybe the tomato was juicy, or the blueberry was blue, or the prickly pear was spiky. Different things like that could be a sapphire choice for your HMH board. Otherwise, this would be the time to get out your choice board. Go ahead and pick sapphire, emerald, ruby, or diamond choice. If you're going to do a diamond choice with a video presentation, please make sure that you fill out that planning sheet first and get it checked by your teacher. And remember to do your checklist on the back to make sure you've got all those pieces in your iPad video. I had so much fun reading with you today. I hope you enjoyed our story today, and I can't wait to read with you again tomorrow. Bye, friends!